friends? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. We're about to get real personal up in here because this video, it's a Q&A. I asked you guys on Instagram and here on YouTube to submit your juiciest questions that you have for me. And of course, you guys came through, so I'm going to be answering all of your questions in this video. So if you want to hang out with me today, hear a little bit more about my life, my love life, my job, YouTube, fashion, beauty, all that kind of stuff, then keep watching. All right, party people, let's just dive in. I'm just pulling up the questions right here on my phone. I'm really excited for this video. I've been thinking about how I want to answer some of these. And by the way, friends, I know that I normally do my makeup in these videos, but I just don't feel like multitasking today. I feel like I can focus more on the questions when I'm not doing my makeup. It's also just like a really dark and dreary day today, so just wanted to light a candle, put on my little Christmas bear sweater. I have a cup of tea right here, so snuggle up, guys, grab a cup of tea because we got a lot of good juicy questions to get through. Let's do this. Okay, so I did group some questions together because I did get some that were a little bit similar. And the first group of questions is all about my boyfriend because a lot of you guys asked about that. You're very curious about him. I don't blame you. I'm super nosy too. And the first question here, which actually a lot of people asked, is how long have you and your boyfriend been together and how did you meet? So we've been together for almost 3 years now, which is kind of crazy. He moved into this apartment maybe like a year and a half ago at this point. So we've also been living together for quite a bit of time, and we actually met through a mutual friend. So he's not from Boston. He had never lived in Boston before. He was like born and bred, lived his entire life in Southern California. He was visiting a friend in Boston, one of his friends from high school, who happened to be a friend that I worked with at this previous job. I was in the office. It was before the pandemic. So I had a lot of friends at work. I would often get invited to like somebody's birthday party or like after work drinks and that kind of stuff. So I was invited to this party. I had a lot of friends from work there and he was there. His name is Tyler, by the way, so I'll refer to him as Tyler. So Tyler was there. My friend introduced me to him and I was like, oh, hello. So we got talking, hit it off, and then he was there for like a couple more days. We got lunch, we kind of got to know each other, and I was like, oh, like, you're really nice, blah, 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 but he lived in San Diego. So we went back to San Diego. Fast forward, he was looking to make a career change. He was looking to find a job in a different industry, basically. So he actually moved to Boston in 2020 and he moved in with that friend. So once he moved to Boston, we obviously kind of like reconnected. We had already kind of known that we sort of liked each other and all that kind of stuff, but it never would have worked because we lived far apart. So I don't know, guys, maybe it was fate. But once he came back, that's kind of when we started talking. Like we went on a couple of dates and then finally we started dating and we've been together for 3 years and it is going very, very well. One of you guys also asked me, is your boyfriend Greek? He's not Greek. He's like as American as it comes, guys. I'm Greek American, so I'm obviously American too, but he doesn't come from kind of like that multicultural background like I do. He is very Southern Californian. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I don't really post about him, but I will post a photo here and there to my stories. He looks kind of like a surfer dude, but he's like totally not a surfer dude. But he very much has that kind of like Southern California vibe, which is funny because I am very Jersey girl, if you guys know. I'm like very East Coast, like fast paced, like kind of person. I'm like a workaholic, that kind of a thing. And then one of you guys were asking me, is he supportive of your passion for makeup and beauty stuff? He really is. I gotta hand it to him. I spent a lot of time on my channel. He's so supportive. He sees how hard I work. He is very much a cheerleader, but he also kind of gives me some tough love and feedback. He's used to watching really big YouTube accounts. He loves to watch YouTube as well, whereas I watch more niche accounts. And so he's often kind of challenging me like, Sophia, if you want to grow, you got to do this, you got to do this. He's always encouraging me to work smarter and not harder and kind of automate things that I'm doing. I'm the kind of person where sometimes my head is so down doing the work. I think, no, I have to do everything. Don't want to ask for help. I really need that kind of partner to remind me that I need to be working smarter. Sometimes it actually pays off to kind of take that time investment to figure out how to make your videos better and better performing. And I feel like he does a really good job of encouraging me to do that while also being pretty supportive about, you know, just the huge time investment it takes to put into this channel. That's like the biggest thing that you guys asked me about my boyfriend. A lot of you guys were like, are you guys gonna get married? Any plans? Guys, if I didn't want to marry this man, I would not be living with him. Like if I didn't have intentions of being with somebody long term, I wouldn't live with them. I'm just kind of old fashioned like that. So if you want to know, that's how I feel. The next couple of questions are all about sort of like my life. You guys were really curious about the hobbies that I have outside of YouTube, because I do spend a lot of time on YouTube and also for my day job. By the way, guys, I meant to mention this at the beginning of the video. I'm not gonna go super in depth about my career and what I do for my day job, only because I recently uploaded a video that talks a lot about that. It's called How I Afford Luxury. So I'll link that down below if you want to hear a little bit more about like what I do for a living and all that kind of stuff. I share more about that in that video, and I also share more tips about how I manage my money and how I afford luxury. That's what the video is about. So check that video out if you are curious, because I always get a lot of questions about that whenever I do a Q&A video. So we're not gonna talk about that right now. We're gonna talk about my hobbies outside of work when I do have free time. I work so much, guys. When I do have free time, honestly, I love to just spend time with my boyfriend. I really like watching basketball. I'm a big Boston Celtics fan. I don't get to go to a game all that much because they are pretty expensive and you kind of have to plan ahead for that. But I love to kind of go to a sports bar, get some chicken wings, a martini, watch the game. That is the perfect relaxing Friday night. Actually, that's what I did last night. That's what we did last night, which was Friday night. That is something that I absolutely love to do. Some of you might not know this, but a lot of my family is in the restaurant industry. We are Greek American, so it's very stereotypical. So my family loves food. Food has always been a really big part of my life. So I'm kind of like a foodie. I love cuisine. I really like to go out to dinner. That's extremely relaxing to me. And it doesn't have to be anywhere fancy. Like I love, like I said, chicken wings. I love barbecue. I love casual places as well. But I just really love the experience of going out to dinner. I also am very interested in wine. I have a level 3 certificate from WSET, which is one of the organizations. Basically, they're like wine educators, where you would get your certificate or your diploma if you wanted to work as a sommelier, or if you wanted to work in the wine industry, beverage industry, restaurant industry, etc. There are 4 levels, and I have accomplished 3 of the 4 levels, which is fine for me because I'm not looking to be a sommelier. But I love wine, guys. I also really love to travel, and a lot of times my travel destinations are based around wine and the wine that I want to try, and shopping. I love shopping as well, which is why I love to go to Paris, because it kind of has that mix of like the cuisine I like, the wine I like, the shopping I like, the architecture. I love art. I love going to museums, exploring cities. I'm very much a city girl. I kind of like that urban life. I don't really like hiking or skiing. Like I'm not into that. I love being outside. It doesn't really matter if it's in a city or if it's in the woods. I grew up in the woods, so I kind of like nature as well, but I'm very much more of that city girl. I love my food. I love my wine. I love to bake. I really like to bake. I like to cook, but I don't have a lot of time to cook. So for me, baking is something that is super relaxing. It's almost like a project for me. And I'm not talking about like chocolate chip cookies, guys. Like if I'm baking, I am making a professional chocolate hazelnut tart. I'm making like decorative macarons or something like that. I can make like an exploding candy milk bar cake. That's the kind of stuff that I like to make because I like to sort of design it. I'm kind of up for the challenge. And yes, you have a recipe, but it's fun to like build up those skills, you know, working with dough, working with batter, crust, all those types of things. I love sweets. I have a huge sweet tooth. I know that was like a rapid fire of all of my hobbies, at least the ones at the top of my head. I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch of them, but you guys kind of get the gist of things that I like, and that's the purpose of answering the question. The next one right here is, do you have any kids? No, I don't have any kids at the moment. It's just me, my boyfriend, and my cat, Minnie. Also, a lot of people were asking, am I planning on having kids? Do I want to have a family? How many kids do I want to have? In general, guys, I want that whole traditional, like, get married, have kids, buy a house, all that kind of stuff. I would love to have more than one kid. I grew up with a sister. I can't imagine my life without her. So I really, really want my child to have a sibling. I think that would be great. I like the idea of having 2 kids, but you get what you get, guys. Like life is life. So I would be happy with even just one kid, but in general, I want that whole like traditional family situation. One of you guys also asked me, how was living in a multicultural family and are you bilingual? Yes, technically I am bilingual. I speak English and Greek. If you are new here, my dad is from Greece. I mostly grew up with the Greek side of my family, so I often tell people I'm Greek American. My mom is not Greek. She is a mixture of German, Irish, and Polish. So that's kind of like the other half of my heritage. I pretty much like needed to speak Greek growing up because my grandparents lived in our house with us. And my grandmother, still to this day, guys, she does not speak English. My grandfather, he could speak a little bit of English, but like not really that well. And we wouldn't speak English to him. Like out of respect, we would all speak Greek. My mom has learned Greek as well, so she can speak it even though she's not Greek, which is great. Great job, Mom. She is really, really good with languages. And how was living in a multicultural family? It was fantastic. I loved it. I really, really loved having my grandparents there every single day. Like every single morning I would wake up, spend time with them. They would take me to school. They were kind of like our babysitters because both of my parents, they've always worked full time. I was always kind of surrounded by that culture, language, religion, traditions, the food. I'm incredibly thankful for that culture and kind of having them there to kind of teach me that and give me that experience. I also would go and live with my grandparents in their little village during the summer, and my sister and my cousin would come. So us three little girls, I just have so many good memories of being in like that little house in that little town by the water in the mountains. Very, very idyllic, such a different way of life. I definitely feel like when I go to other European countries, I just kind of assimilate a little bit more easily, maybe just because I've spent so much time in Europe. I also felt like in class, in school, I always instantly connected with other fellow students who were like first generation Americans because we were both kind of coming from homes where like we were speaking a different language and we very much had a different culture present in our home. Yeah, I don't know. How was it? I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed growing up. I'm very proud to be Greek American. I need to improve my Greek. I'm trying to. I'm not completely fluent because I'm not always speaking it all the time. But when I hear people say things in Greek, my brain immediately translates it. So it is very native to me. I love this next question. If money was not an option, would you choose Paris, Greece, or the New England area? Guys, if money wasn't a question, okay, I would live in Greece in the summer. I would live in New England in the autumn time. And then you guys know I would live in Paris the rest of the year because I absolutely love Paris. I love all of those three locations, but I do think I really like them in each of those seasons. Why did I move to Boston? So I've been in Boston for about 14 years now. I came to Boston actually for college. I went to college here and then I stayed. Happens to a lot of people. There's a lot of educational institutions here in the city and over across the river in Cambridge. You have Harvard, MIT, Northeastern, BCBU. There's a ton of really big colleges here. So I decided to come here because I thought it would be a really great place to study. I grew up in southern New Jersey in more of like a rural area, not close to New York at all, maybe like 2.5 hours away from New York, an hour away from Philadelphia. So I really wanted to go somewhere that was just a different experience from, what I had growing up. I also wanted to study business and business management. So I knew that if I went somewhere that was closer to a city or in a city, it would be easier for me to get internships, jobs, network. And that really did pan out in my favor. When I went to college, I studied, this actually was a question. What did I study? I studied marketing and information systems, and I got really involved in the tech industry here in Boston. I went to a lot of events. I made a lot of connections, and that really helped me get some of my first jobs out of college and internships and that kind of stuff. So I was able to kind of build a lot of experience there. And yeah, I've been here for 14 years. They have a very strong tech industry here, so it just made sense for me to stay. Editing Sophia here. I forgot to answer this one question. A lot of you guys thumbs this one up. I completely forgot to include it, so I'm putting it here in the video. It's an interesting question. The question is, as a woman in tech, do you feel like your passion for beauty doesn't quite fit in with your work environment? In general, no, I don't think it fits in with my work environment, but it also doesn't have to, because work is work and then hobbies are hobbies. I work in mostly a male-dominated field. I've worked with a lot of men over the past decade that I've been in the tech industry, and then a lot of the women that I've worked with, while we have plenty in common, a lot of times beauty and fashion isn't really one of them. You'd be surprised. I have a couple coworkers who are, into those types of things, but not as much as me. This is very much kind of like a niche hobby. And I think a lot of times, as people who are into this kind of stuff, we forget it can be like a little bit more niche than you would think. I don't really have a lot of friends or family members in general that are super into makeup. If I'm with a coworker and they know that I'm really into makeup, they might ask me for recommendations. But if it's like a male coworker, they're really not interested. That being said, I do have, quite a few coworkers who I've mentioned, I have a YouTube channel, and even though they don't know anything about makeup, they're very interested because they think it's really cool that I am a YouTube entrepreneur. So that's something that we can have in common. And they're usually really curious to hear, how do you create the content? Like, what's your niche? Like, they're asking more business questions. And I like that stuff too. So I'm always happy to talk about it with them. So yeah, I don't think that my passion for beauty ever necessarily made me feel like a misfit at work per se. I am totally fine being the only person in the office coming to work with makeup on, because it makes me feel more put together, makes me feel more professional, makes me feel like I'm ready for my day. I think my struggle has just been more so that not only people that I work with, but just other people that I meet, they think that I am several years younger than I actually am. I don't know if that's the makeup, guys. I don't know if it's the sunscreen or the skincare or just my face shape, but a lot of people think that I'm like 5-7 years younger than I actually am. And even to this day, people will ask me what school I go to, if I'm a student. And so I definitely noticed that kind of taking a toll on my career. A lot of times people thinking that I am more junior than I actually am, maybe when they first meet me, or even when I'm being compared against peers. Looking at the numbers, I'm performing the same, if not better than other people, but I might be perceived as being more junior just because I have a more youthful appearance. I definitely noticed when I went remote for my job. We all had to go remote for a little bit, right? And I've still been remote pretty much since then. For the most part, I definitely noticed my career progressing quicker. I don't really get the sense that people perceive that anymore. And I think it's just because everything is over Zoom. I don't wear as much makeup when I'm on Zoom. I'm plainer. People are just focusing on the meeting at hand, the work that I'm doing, what's being delivered, the numbers going up and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if that has anything to do with my makeup or beauty, but I thought I would share it, guys. I know there's a lot of other women in tech or kind of male-dominated fields out there. So comment down below if you've had a similar experience. And if you have any other questions, guys, yeah, just let me know. We can start a little discussion in the comments section. The next question is, what were you like as a child and what did you want to be when you grew up? I changed my mind all the time on what I wanted to be. When I was really little, I loved to sing. I still love to sing, but because I was little, I said, I want to be a singer. So that didn't pan out, but I still do love to sing. And then as I got older, I really got into skincare, into makeup. I've always been into this stuff, guys. Nobody pushed it on me. No one even really influenced me. I grew up with a lot of women in my family, and I always loved watching them like get ready and put on their makeup and do all of their things. I have like vivid memories of watching my mom and my grandma and my aunt do all of that stuff. Actually, a bunch of you were asking me like, how did you get into makeup? I just loved it. Like, I just loved it, guys. And my grandfather would take me to CVS and he would spoil us. My sister would want candy and I would want makeup. They used to have little kid makeup at CVS, and that's what I would want. And I would just like put the little blush on and the little lipstick. As I got older, I would make like my own masks and scrubs and steams, and I would give facials to like my sister and my friends and my cousin. I said I wanted to be a dermatologist, but I'm not cut out for med school, guys. You guys heard that video that I did with my mom. She's like, literally the sight of blood, I just faint. So I didn't really know what I was gonna do with it. So I guess this is kind of my outlet for that. And then as I got older, I was always very entrepreneurial. I was always doing new things, new ideas. I knew I wanted to be a businesswoman of some kind. And that's why I decided to go into a business program, even though I didn't really know, what I wanted to do. So that's kind of what I pursued. And guys, all throughout my life, I was the little goody two-shoes. I was the teacher's pet. I was like the first in the class type of person. I've always been a very hard worker. I've always been very much a go-getter, like lots of energy. I can be introverted at times, but I would say in general, I'm more of an extrovert. Like, I really feed off the energy of others. It's a little bit ironic because I spend most of my day like at home at my computer. I always loved performing. I did a lot of like musical theater and singing. I played piano for like 8 or 9 years. I loved giving speeches, community service. I don't know. That's what I was like as a kid, guys. Pretty much the same person I am now, except I'm just doing like different work. The next question is about fitness and health. So you said, Sophia, I can't believe that you're 32. I thought you must be around 27. Well, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. That's why I'm reading your question. No, I'm just kidding. I would have answered it no matter what. You say, I want to know what you do fitness and nutrition wise to keep in such great shape. Why, thank you. First off, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a personal trainer or anything, but I will tell you guys what I like to do. I did not grow up as an athletic person. Literally, like, I think I did field hockey for a season, but that's only because I was a high achiever and I needed to like tick that off my list. I just wanted to try a sport for one season. I was never athletic, literally never worked out a day in my life until maybe like a year after college when I started doing Zumba. And then I really love Zumba because I love to dance and I love music and I love, you know, like interacting with people, and that's what a Zumba class is. I eventually became a Zumba instructor. I taught Zumba for about 2 or 3 years. I stopped teaching during the pandemic because teaching a virtual Zumba class is literally like soul sucking. You really don't want to do it, but that's how I kind of got into fitness. I don't teach Zumba anymore, but what I do like to do is twice a week, I will do kind of like heavy weightlifting. I work out with a personal trainer. Personal training can be very expensive, but I work out with somebody who is local, owns his own gym and everything. So it's a lot more affordable. So I do that twice a week. I actually just went this morning. It's a fun way for me to get out of the house. Building up muscle has been just very important for my health. I really like to be strong. I'm not trying to be like a teeny tiny person. I'm not trying to lose a lot of weight or anything. I'm really just trying to be strong, and kind of being able to build up that muscle. It helps me burn calories more efficiently throughout the week. So definitely talk to your doctor, talk to like a personal trainer, somebody that can help you figure out what's going to be right for you. But for me, doing those weights and kind of building up that muscle has been incredibly helpful. And then in between the things I like to do, I have a Peloton. It's actually right next to me right here in my small little living room right now. I go on the Peloton. Highly recommend. It's very fun. My mom does it. My dad does it now. We've even got him doing the Peloton. So I do the Peloton twice a week, 3 times a week. And then if I have time, I like to go for long walks with my boyfriend. If I have time and the weather is nice, I like to go for a run. I'd like to get back into classes. I really like bar. I did that for years, and that really helped me build up the strength to kind of get into the weightlifting. So that's what I do to keep fit. And then for diet, guys, I think that is the most important thing for me, because I already like to work out, but now that I've gotten into my 30s, I've realized, not that I ate unhealthy before, but I've realized just how important it is to kind of stick to not a diet necessarily, but really kind of make sure that you're watching what you're eating. I don't really go on diets all that much, I'll be honest. I really just try and stay healthy. But this summer, for example, I was just so busy. I had a lot of work, I had travel, I had a lot of different things, and I realized that I was kind of getting anxious because I didn't have time to work out, and working out made me feel healthy, and I just wanted to make sure that I was still staying healthy and doing the things that I needed to do diet-wise to kind of compensate for the fact that I didn't have time to do like a high-intensity class every day or weightlifting every day. So what I did this summer is I basically just downloaded the MyFitnessPal. I just started counting my calories. It'll tell you, if you're like me and you're literally sedentary the entire day, it would tell me this is how many calories you can eat to maintain your weight and just kind of overall healthiness. And that really kind of gave me the peace of mind and helped me track what I was eating. I kind of learned like, oh, like this thing that I eat very often has a lot of calories. Maybe I can swap it out. And like I said, it just gave me peace of mind that while I had those sedentary days, sometimes I wasn't overdoing it, you know? And if you're sedentary, like you really can't like eat that much if you're like in your 30s or if you're older than that. So my recommendations, not that I'm like a professional or anything, my recommendations are, you know, try and stay fit, find the workouts that are going to help you stay consistent, and then track how much you're eating so that you can actually learn. And then from there, it really helps you build those healthy habits. Hello, friend. If you have made made it this far in the video, you have made it to the secret giveaway. That's right, there's a giveaway in this video. Shh, don't tell the people who didn't make it this far. This is for my true fans that have made it this far in what is probably going to be a very long Q&A. So listen up for the details of this giveaway. I wanted to do something for the holidays, and this is what I came up with. So the prize for this giveaway is going to be a $500 gift certificate to whatever is your favorite beauty retailer. It can be Sephora, it can be Ulta. If you live abroad, it can be Harrods, it could be, where else do you guys shop? John Lewis, Mecca, Holt Renfrew. I'm trying to think of other countries. You guys know what I mean. Wherever I can buy you a gift voucher, that's what I'm gonna do, because I don't wanna ship like a Dyson Airwrap to Australia or something like that. So I figured this would be the easiest thing that we could do. So you're gonna get a $500 beauty gift certificate to your favorite retailer. And the way that you can enter this giveaway, listen closely, you don't need to tag 3 friends, you don't need to share this video, you don't need to do anything, although it would be nice if you gave it a thumbs up and left me a sweet comment down below. You don't have to do any of that because you've already supported my channel all year. I really honestly can't thank you guys enough. I can't ask anything more of you, but if you want to enter the giveaway, what I need you to do is I need you to list your Instagram handle in the comments. You need to leave a comment of any kind or even just this, but I need to know what is your Instagram username, and I don't want you to include the little @ symbol. So for example, my Instagram handle is @sophia.sees.beauty, okay? So I would put sophia.sees.beauty in the comment. I'll put all of this in the description box, by the way, but I just need to know your Instagram, okay? No other personal information, no other personal information. You just need to put that there. I'm going to randomly select somebody, and then I'm going to announce the winner the morning of December 8th, okay? So you have until midnight Eastern time on December 7th to enter this giveaway, and I'm going to message you on Instagram, and you're gonna know it's me because I'm gonna have this little blue check mark next to my name. If it doesn't have the little blue check mark, then it's not me. I pay for that blue check mark, not because I want to look cool on Instagram, but because I don't want people scamming my subscribers. So you're going to get an Instagram message from me with the blue check mark. I'm going to let you know how to contact me, and then that's how I'm going to get in contact with you so that I can get you your gift card. Okay? Does that sound good? If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll try and do my best. I'm going to put everything in the description box. Thank you guys so much. Now let's get back to the rest of this video. The next question is about this little munchkin right here. I woke her up from her nap, so she's not very happy. So I'm gonna put her down now. But a lot of you guys were asking about my cat, Minnie. I understand she is very cute. She is the official furry little mascot of this channel. She's not any kind of fancy breed. She is a rescue cat. When I graduated college, I immediately, as soon as I moved into my first apartment in Boston, I knew I wanted a pet, and I really wanted a cat because I grew up with cats. I love cats. I'm a cat lady, so I was looking for a kitten. I actually got really lucky at the time because my sister's friend who lived in Rhode Island at the time, she had just rescued a litter of stray kittens, and Minnie was one of the kittens. So she drove her up from Rhode Island, and from then on, she was my kitty. Oh, I remember the day. I'll put up some photos here. Very cute. I've had this cat for 10 years. I can't believe I've had this cat for a decade. Like during lockdown, this cat was the only company that I had. So she is very special to me. I love her. She is my pet. And if you can't tell from my Instagram stories, this cat is like a puffy, fluffy little Princess Peach. Like Princess Peach is probably, I should have named her Princess Peach. That would have been a really good name. I was going to name her before I met her Xena Warrior Kitty. I thought that would be a really funny name for a cat. It's like Greek related. And then they put her in my lap and I'm like, oh, she's a little beanie baby. She's a little Princess Peach. She is like the daintiest, most polite, like girly, fluffy, puffy little cuddly kitty you ever did see. She doesn't hunt. She doesn't try and like run out the door. She doesn't try and climb on things. She will get up on her little scratcher to like get her treats and that kind of stuff. When she plays with her toys, she'll just be like, ah, ha, 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 ha. She just like plays around with her toys. Like, she's not a huntress. She chases her tail. She's 10 years old and she still chases her tail. She's just like the cutest, fluffiest, most polite little kitty, and we absolutely love her. Even when I go to like trim her nails, she will not bite me. She will not scratch me. She literally just sits there and is like, oh. Sometimes she even purrs to show that she just like gives up. She just lets me sit there and trim her nails. She's the cutest little thing. Her nickname is Little Baby. That's what we call her. So if you ever hear me say Little Baby or anything in any of my videos, that's her nickname. Okay, moving along to the next category of questions. I had some things that were kind of like YouTuber related, career related. The first one here is, what is your degree and how did you get started in your career? I already told you guys earlier in the video, I studied marketing and information systems. How did I get started? Honestly, guys, a lot of networking. And I hear this from even friends now who are my age, who've worked in the industry for years. It really depends on who you know. If you can network, if you can get a referral or an introduction or something like that, it really, really goes a long way. Jobs are so competitive right now. There's a lot of resumes, there's a lot of applications being put in. So if you can kind of network your way to just like that first phone call so that you can prove yourself, that really goes a long way. And that is exactly what I did. I went to like every single tech event in Boston by myself as a woman also. And like, I wasn't a software engineer or anything like that. It was very intimidating. I made friends. I got internships. I joined programs. I really just put myself out there. And that's honestly how I started my career. I was able to get my first job through networking. In fact, I think I've gotten all of my jobs through networking, or at least gotten to that first phone call interview stage. And if you are a referral, your resume is going to be at the top of the list compared to other applicants. A couple of people asked me, any plans to create content full time? A lot of you wanted to know if I had enough subscribers, would I quit my day job to do YouTube full time? Absolutely, absolutely. I don't want to work 2 jobs for the rest of my life, guys. Like, it's got to be one or the other. If I was even just making the same amount that I made in my other job, hands down, I would just run this. I love being an entrepreneur. I love running my own business. I do like, don't get me wrong, I like my day job. I really do enjoy what I do. Once again, watch that other video if you want to hear a little bit more about my career in tech and like the specific thing that I do. But more or less, guys, I'm a product person. I love designing products and kind of solving business problems. I love being super customer focused. And that's what this YouTube is all about. I don't work for myself. I work for you guys. I create the content that you guys want to watch. I've always been somebody that, number one, is entrepreneurial, but also number two, I've always loved mentorship. When I was a Zumba instructor, it makes me so happy to see people dancing alongside me, picking up the moves, smiling, being happy, clapping afterwards. And in my regular job as well, building products that are successful, that customers love to use, that cut costs or increase orders or whatever, it means you're doing something right. That is incredibly fulfilling to me. And so with YouTube, I'm able to do a lot of those things that I do in my regular job, except they're makeup related, and I love makeup. So I'm able to kind of combine my entrepreneurial spirit, this topic, this industry that I really like, and then kind of like that product focus all in one. Couple of other questions about YouTube here. How many hours a week do you spend working on your channel? Also, how do you time manage your demanding YouTube career schedule and your full-time career schedule? How many hours do you sleep? So I got a lot of questions kind of all in that vein, so I'll do my best to answer them. How many hours a week? I've never actually tracked it, guys, but it's a full-time job. Like, I basically work 2 jobs. So think of all of the time that you might have like before work to get ready for work, maybe get your kids ready for school, you come home, you cook dinner, you spend time with your family, maybe you watch TV, maybe you like go to the gym. All of those hours I spend on my YouTube channel. Right now, this is a Saturday, so I'm spending like a big chunk of my Saturday, and I will spend a pretty big chunk of my Sunday tomorrow creating content. If it's like a nice, beautiful day, I'm going outside, I'm doing stuff. If I have other things planned with family and friends, don't get me wrong, I absolutely do that. But if I don't really have anything planned, I'm pretty much always working on this YouTube channel. It's a big time investment. And if you don't treat the YouTube channel as a job, it's just like, it's not gonna grow. Maybe you can get lucky. You can get lucky. Like, you can kind of just, make content. But if you don't spend time like really getting better at it, learning how to do it, learning kind of like the ins and outs, and kind of listening to your subscribers. Like that's the biggest thing, is looking at the analytics to see what do people like, what do people sort of respond to. It's not just reading all of the comments and responding to people, it's also really digging into that kind of stuff to figure out what's the type of content you should be creating. And all of that takes so much time. I probably get about like 6 hours of sleep a night. That's my average. I usually go to bed at like 1 a.m. and then I get up around 7. If I go to bed later, I might sleep in a little bit later. If I have anything going on, if I have to travel for work, if there's like a holiday, if I have to go somewhere for the weekend, that always sets me back. And unfortunately, because I do have my day job, I just like really don't have the ability to plan ahead. All of my videos are very much, I'm filming it on this day and it's going live the next day or maybe the day after that. I can't do all of that pre-filming type of stuff. I was able to do it. I managed to do it for my 2-week vacation this year, and that was hard work. And I definitely saw a lack of growth in that month because I didn't have as many videos go live. Your growth is very much correlated to the number of videos, or sometimes it's the quality of videos, maybe the topic, maybe one of your videos does very well. But like if you aren't publishing content consistently, your channel is just not going to grow. And I'm the kind of person where I don't really want to do something halfway, you know what I mean? Like I want to go 110%, or else I'm not going to do it at all, because it is very time consuming, even if you do it just as like a hobby. So I don't want to like deter anybody from going into YouTube. If it's something you want to do as a hobby, by all means, give it a try, see if you like it. It could be a creative outlet for you. But for me, that's just way too much time. So in summary, what I'm trying to say here is, how do I manage my time? How do I do it? I basically spend all of the time that would have been free time and I put it towards my channel. I also try to just work a regular work day with my full-time job. I still feel like I'm able to make an impact there. You know, it gets stressful because I'm constantly context switching between 2 different jobs, but you basically just have to be super duper organized, and you also have to kind of give yourself a little bit of like grace if you just, you know, if like you don't hit a goal or if you don't get a video out on a certain day. That's why I don't have a set YouTube upload schedule, because I would just go crazy, guys, honestly, because I'm just filming things here and there on the days that I have time, so that I'm really able to, you know, focus on whichever job needs to be focused on at that given time. If I have a lot of stuff going on in my day job, I focus on that. If there's, you know, the new Chanel holiday collection or whatever, then I'm gonna spend my entire Saturday making a video, making sure it's really good, and I'm gonna get it up ASAP. The next question is, how do you deal with negative comments, especially when people are critical of luxury makeup and its price in general? I thought that was a good question. How do I deal with the negative comments? I'll say, to start off, I actually don't get as many negative comments as I thought I would going into this. My subscribers, or whoever is watching my videos, you guys keep it classy. Like, some of you guys, even if you disagree, you're so good at politely and intelligently explaining your perspective and your opinion on things, and I really appreciate that. I have like some of the classiest subscribers. I know I'm buttering you guys up, but I really don't get as many negative comments as you would think that I do. But if I do get a negative comment, you know, if I had a lot of them, I probably would just ignore them, guys. But the Jersey Shore girl in me is like, no, I'm gonna tell you you're being rude. Sometimes I literally will just be, you're being rude and inappropriate right now. I really don't appreciate you saying this, and that. And I won't be rude back, but I'll tell them, I really don't appreciate the way that you said that. I think you could have said that a little bit more politely, and I disagree with you for these reasons. And that's when people, it's like when people are being rude, okay? It's not when people are disagreeing with me, if they just say, no, I think this, and that, because I'm asking you in the video to sound off in the comment section down below and let me know. And so if you disagree, I don't care. You're commenting on my video. That is engagement for me. It's really just if people are saying something mean or are just flat out rude and not very thoughtful in what they say, that sometimes I will respond. And a lot of times you guys come to the rescue and you respond and you say something to them back. So that's nice. I don't really like it when people kind of, fight in the comments or go back and forth. I would prefer that you guys just kind of leave them alone, let me deal with it. Sometimes I might block someone, or I try not to delete comments. I don't really like the idea of that. But if it's like offensive or something like that, I probably would delete it because I don't want anybody else to get upset. And in regards to people who are maybe critical about luxury influencers or the things that we cover on our channel, if somebody's like, how come everything that you review is so expensive, it's out of my budget, etc., etc., I try and just be very straightforward and polite with that person, that my channel focuses on luxury. My channel is not a channel for rich people who can afford everything. I try and focus my content to be helpful, to kind of help you figure out, if you're gonna buy something nice, what might that thing be? Where should you spend your money making smart luxury decisions? But I'm not gonna be reviewing drugstore makeup. Like, I'm not gonna do a Target haul. I'm not gonna do a Shein fashion haul because I just don't shop from those brands. I'm not a specialist in those types of things. It's not the kind of thing that gets me excited. I try to just be polite with those people, not take it personally. And you know what? The good thing is that there's so much content here on YouTube that if they are interested in channels that focus on something else, then they can go find that content. We're gonna close things out, friends, with a bunch of super fun questions about beauty and fashion. I love these questions that you guys submitted. The first one is, what is a beauty trend you wished would come back? And this is a hard one. And you know why? Because all of the beauty trends I feel that I grew up with, they're already back. All of the Y2K stuff is so popular right now. I don't know, I feel like all the trends are already back. I would say one beauty trend that I wish would come back would have to be probably warm toned eyeshadow palettes. I've noticed that a lot of cool tone palettes have been released lately. And don't get me wrong, I still love them, and I have been converted into a cool toned makeup lover. But at the end of the day, guys, like, I was thriving in that Instagram era of warm tones. I loved it so much. So I guess I would have to say the warm tone eyeshadow, or warm tone makeup in general. If I had an unlimited budget, what bag and shoes would I buy? Do you have a dream bag or pair of shoes? Do I have a dream bag? Of course I have a dream bag. I have many dream bags, but the first one that comes to mind, guys, is I would love to have a black Birkin 25 with palladium hardware, and preferably in some sort of exotic leather, like crocodile or alligator. I will never be able to afford any of those. I'm just saying it right here, probably never going to be able to afford that, but that is my dream, okay? A girl can dream, right? Maybe like a crocodile handle. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not. Probably not. Maybe just the standard like Togo leather, black Birkin, palladium or gold hardware. That would be good enough. Or even, one in a bright color in like an ostrich leather or something like that. You guys know I love textures, different leathers, exotics, furs, like all that kind of stuff, because those are the things that are kind of like unattainable to me. This subscriber asks, what is the makeup product that makes you feel the happiest? I think it has to be foundation. Foundation has always been kind of my thing. Like, my makeup aesthetic has always revolved around skincare, fresh, clear, youthful skin. That was the only thing that was important to me growing up. I had a lot of redness as a kid. Even now, redness is always one of my concerns. I always struggled with a lot of keratosis pilaris on my face, like those little bumps. I've always had them on my cheeks, so I had a lot of that growing up. I dealt with acne as well, and I really just wanted my skin to be clear. So I was all about the foundation. Just the power of being able to cover that up was mind-blowing to me. That is what made me feel the most confident. So for me, definitely foundation. The next question is, if you could start your own brand, what would it look like? Packaging, products, price point, marketing, etc. Wow, that is a lot. I don't know what I would call it, but I definitely think that I would focus a little bit more on the high end and luxury side. I would want the packaging to be very luxurious if I could afford it. We're talking like hypothetically here, like I have the money to fund this. Maybe I have like a venture firm or something investing in my product at this point, but we're just kind of talking about like conceptually here. I would want it to be more luxury because that is really my bread and butter. I would want to have luxurious packaging. I would want it to be very aesthetically pleasing. The types of colors that I like are black, white, gold. My favorite color is red, maybe hints of red. So maybe those types of vibes would probably be what I would do. I would go after the demographics of women 30 to 50, which are basically my subscribers. I would want all of the formulas to be extremely mature skin friendly. I would have a lot of moisturizing ingredients in my products. If I were ever to do a collab or anything like that, products that stand out the most to me are, well, we already talked about foundation, but like foundation is a really hard one to do if you are a new brand. It's also like not something you do if you do a collab. But the other categories that really stand out for me are number one, lipstick and any type of lip product because, well, number one, I always feel like my lips have been kind of like my signature feature on my face. I'm always asked like, what are you wearing on your lips? And a lot of times I'm not wearing anything. So that's my favorite feature. But I also think that lipstick as a woman, I feel like for a lot of us, it is our first entry point into makeup. Maybe you had like a tinted chapstick or a lip balm or something like that you got from the drugstore or whatever. It's something that you kind of start with whenever you start wearing makeup. So I just feel, I don't know, I'm a very sentimental person. So I feel like that would be an interesting place to start. And then the other area is brushes. I feel like brushes are so transformational. I remember the first time I got an actual real brush set in high school and I was like, oh my God, the greatest thing ever. And it was kind of a big purchase for me at the time. It was like a Laura Mercier brush kit from Sephora. Probably one of the first things that I ever bought through the internet because we didn't have a Sephora in my town. And I just remember having brushes and be able to like create looks, do more things. It was such an eye-opening experience. It really enables you to upgrade what you do with your makeup. I don't know. I just love brushes. You guys know I love to review brushes. So that would be another area that would be of interest to me to focus on. What do you call your personal style, or what are the core components? What influences your personal style? I thought this was a fun question. I would say first and foremost, my personal style has always been very classically feminine. I really like that classic hourglass silhouette. That is the silhouette that suits my body type the best. I didn't get along super well in like the 90s and the early 2000s with like the low-rise pants and like the really tight tops or wavy shift dresses and those types of things. They just don't look good on my body type. I like to go for classic silhouettes, but then I also am very into sort of menswear inspired pieces. I really love tailoring classic trousers. I love blazers, even kind of slightly oversized slouchy type of clothing. And I really like to mix things up with different textures, whether it be like a fuzzy sweater or a leather blazer or a metal belt or like a little fur scarf or something like that. One of my style icons is definitely Marlene Dietrich. I love the fact that she can wear something that is so classic, like Hollywood glam, beautiful gown, like feminine outfits, but then she also was like that OG person in Hollywood rocking the cool, hot tuxedo type of outfit as a woman. She could wear a top hat and she can wear anything, honestly, and make it look good. So I love the fact that she had those really interesting androgynous looks, but she still made it very edgy and feminine. So I definitely look up to her as a style icon. And yeah, that's how I would describe my personal style. Comment down below and you guys let me know, how would you describe your personal style? The sun has gone down, so I'm kind of like in really bad lighting right now, guys. So I hope that's okay, but I wanted to still answer a couple more questions here because we do have some really good ones. The next one is, what is your favorite bronzer? My favorite bronzer right now is the Tom Ford Terra bronzer. It changes, month to month, but that's the one that I'm really loving right now. Somebody asked, what is your favorite lip combo? And then similarly, if you could choose one lipstick to wear for the rest of time, what would it be? And I think these are probably pretty much the same thing. If I had to choose just one, I probably would choose just like a classic nude lip. I really like the Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude Lip Liner with her lipstick that is called Catwalking. It's one of the ones in like the nudes line, the matte formula. That is like my favorite nude lip combo. Next, somebody said, what is your favorite red lipstick? I love a signature red lip. The two that come to mind immediately are definitely the Lisa Eldridge ones. Velvet Ribbon, that's like the perfect red lipstick, guys. And I love the Lisa Eldridge formula. I also really like Velvet Cinnabar for something that's richer, darker, but still very much a red. I would say those two right now are my favorite red lipsticks. Also, somebody asked a best transfer resistant lip product for New Year's Eve. I would have to say, you guys have to comment down below if you can think of any other ones, but the one that comes to mind are those Tom Ford liquid lipsticks. Like, those are really transfer proof, and he has the most beautiful red shades. If you want a really like lock and load red, check out my review of those, because I think I got 3 different colors in that video and it's really good. Also, Dior has the transfer resistant lipsticks. Those are pretty good as well. I also have a review on those, so you can check those out, but those are some really good lipstick options. If you could only use one brand of makeup for the rest of your life, what would it be? This one is like real hard because there's so many brands out there where it's like, oh, I really like these products from this and I like these products from that. And somebody actually was asking, which makeup brand do I think has the most comprehensive options? It's kind of impossible, guys, but if I had to choose just one, I don't think I would have said this last year, but if I had to choose just one for the rest of my life, I think it would be Chanel, and I'll tell you why. Because as I get older, I know that Chanel is going to be a little bit more mature skin friendly, and like I said, guys, I really like foundation, and I really like the Chanel foundations. I think they have a lot of really good options. They make some of my favorites. I also do like quite a few of their eyeshadows. I like their blushes. I like so many products from Chanel. I like Dior as well, but you know what? I haven't found a Dior foundation that is in my top 5. And I think that's what's driving the decision mostly. So I love Dior as well. That probably would be like a close second, but I think for now, I'm gonna have to say Chanel. What is your favorite overall luxury brand? That's really hard. For this one, I thought more about like fashion and accessories and that kind of stuff. For sure, if you take a look at my bag collection, the brand that is the most dominant is definitely Louis Vuitton for whatever reason. I guess because maybe the price point is a little bit more accessible than others. I don't think that I would say Louis Vuitton though, because I don't love their ready to wear. I like their menswear, but I don't really like the women's ready to wear. I think if I had to choose just one, I would probably say Fendi. I know a lot of you guys probably thought I was gonna name a French brand like Dior or something like that, but I really like Fendi because I feel like they are classy and elegant, but they also have that kind of like Italian sexiness component to them. They have items in their collection that are very classic, like the peekaboo, but then they also have kind of more sportier bags like the baguette. They have such a really nice range of accessories, but I also really like their ready to wear as well. It's very Italian, it's very luxe. I like furry things as well, and they are a fur house first and foremost. That's how they started the brand. So I think that's maybe why I would choose Fendi. Maybe Dior would be a close second, but I think overall I would choose Fendi. What do you think of indie brands that have a similar price point as luxury? That's interesting. I don't shop from a lot of indie brands. I think that the quality in many cases is probably just as good. Hey, if it's very good quality, then the price is justified. The price is dictated not only by the cost of the goods, but also by how much people are willing to pay for it. So if there's a customer out there that's willing to pay for it, I'm like, go ahead, like that's business, baby. But also, I think with indie brands, they do have to charge more because they are a smaller company. So they don't really have those economies of scale to be able to, you know, cut down on the cost by ordering in bulk and that kind of stuff. They might be using very expensive ingredients. They might be making multi-chrome eyeshadows and those types of things. They take time to develop and they are more costly to produce. So I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of indie brands out there that have really high quality shadows. And hey, if they have to charge more and they have a strong following, then I don't know. I think that's totally fine. Comment down below. You guys let me know if you are more into the indie brands. What do you think of this question? What do you think of this topic? I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you think that luxury brands will continue to thrive? Absolutely, I think they will. Luxury is for the wealthy, and there's always going to be wealthy people in this world that will purchase from these luxury brands, no matter how many price increases they continue to have. And brands, even during times like this when sales are generally down, they will figure out how to survive. We see a lot of brands right now grasping for new creative directors, trying to kind of refresh their offering. We see a lot of brands going into that kind of quiet luxury type of aesthetic because they're noticing the people that are buying luxury goods, they want something that's going to be a little bit more classic, more of like an investment piece. So they just change up their strategy. A lot of what these brands are doing as well, friends, is that they are taking their iconic pieces. For Chanel, it's the classic flap. For Fendi, it's the peekaboo. And for Dior, it's the Lady Dior. And they are jacking up those prices because people really want those pieces. Those are the classic things that are never going to go out of style. And they're like, okay, well, if you want the classic piece, you got to pay $6,000 for a Lady Dior or $10,000 for a Chanel classic flap. And the rich people, that's nothing for them. They're going to continue to pay that. But what they're also doing is they are introducing a lot more entry-level items into the collection. So if you go on Dior, they actually have a lot of bags that are not like the Lady Dior, that are kind of like smaller other bags, still very cute, and they're more like $2,000, $3,000. You may not see them plastered all over your social media, but they actually do have some options. Even Chanel, they've introduced a bunch of little like SLGs, things that are like not big enough to be a bag. They're more like small leather goods, wallets, mini bags. And those are priced at what the classic flaps used to be like a decade ago or whatever. It's going to cost you $2,000, $3,000 for like a little mini bag. And so you have to ask yourself, do I want that entry level piece? Do I want a piece of Chanel, or do I want to save up to get the $6,000, Chanel mini or whatever it may be? So to answer your question, yes, I think luxury brands will continue to thrive. Luxury brands have always been around since the beginning of time. There's always been some aspect of luxury in this world. It just depends on, who's willing to pay for it. Maybe some of them will die, but I think that luxury brands are here to stay. All right, friends, I've been sitting here for a while and the sun is officially down, so I feel like it's time to end this video. I hope that you enjoyed this Q&A. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about me. I hope that it was entertaining. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, and please leave me a comment down below. Let me hear from you. Let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know what you're excited for this holiday season, or let me know what you're excited for the new year. I would love to hear from you guys. I hope that you are having a very, very happy holiday season. Subscribe if you haven't already. And with that, friends, I hope that you see some beauty in your day, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.